like,
Yeah, like when I
rich.
told, well, I actually, said to my uncle when Bernie first came around, I said, "Oh, college is going to be free," and I remember he goes, "Well, who's going to pay for it?" And after that, I was like, "All right, fair, you're right." But it sounds really good and it gets you
It sounds
excited.
great.
A lot
It
of
sounds
things
great.
sound good in theory, right? But the
Right.
implementation doesn't work,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And I think it was Tim Cook who said a couple months ago, he testified and said, "Look, the it's not just that it's less expensive in India and China or whatever, but they are much more skilled laborers, right?
There
We
you
don't
go.
have skilled labor here anymore."
There you go.
And from coming from a real estate background, there's a lot of sites, hotel. There's two hotel sites that I know that I used to walk by during COVID, and the foreman told me that they had to shut it down multiple times because the workers were on opioids,
Wow.
right? So they don't even test for marijuana anymore. Most of these construction sites, they test for opioids, right? So there's, I think that regardless of whether you want to look at it as China or enemies, right? They say no civilization is conquered from the outside until it destroys itself from within, right? So they pumped all
Wow.
this fentanyl into this country, which I've been personally affected by. I've had many friends, and if I had to count, I'd say 15 people from my senior class graduating have OD'd at least, right?
Damn.
A kid who
Right.
was on the varsity soccer team the other day, I saw an obituary, and I was like, him, right? He, like, right? So, but that's it. So the civilization, the United States, is just being destroyed from within between just fentanyl and the division. I think, right? I
Yeah.
think that we've never seen people more divided, and it's sad, right? The one thing
Yeah.
about you could say about 9/11, I was 11 years old, is everyone sort of united and came together, right?
Yeah.
Now, if God forbid there was a terrorist attack in this country, there's a large portion of the country be like, they'd be writing an op-ed about why we deserved it.
Right. Right. I hate
Because
I hate
a
to say it, but
gazillion
you're
years
probably
ago, it was
right.
somebody else's land. Therefore,
Right.
these people deserve to die now. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
No, you're right. I do think that the division is crazy, but and I think, more than ever, people really believe narratives. I try to, and that's the whole point of why I started this channel, is
Sure,
really to
sure.
have conversations of context. I think most conversations miss so much context, and it's so easy to just be like, "Yo, it's the rich people's fault, or it's the poor people's fault, or it's the Democrat or the Republican." It's like people don't really have any in-depth conversations. The mainstream media is all like lean in one narrative or the
Sure,
other.
yeah.
You know what I
There's
mean?
two realities, right? If you live in, if you're a Fox News household, right, you are in a totally different alternate reality. If you're in a Fox News household, then Kandahar and Fallujah are safer than Manhattan right now. Okay. Now, if
Right.
you're an MSNBC household, right? Notice I went left, I was right, and now I'm going left.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're an NBC household, New York City's never been safer. Okay, you
for
could
sure.
walk around 2 a.m. East Harlem with six Rolexes on, and nobody will touch you because it's this great, safe utopia. Neither are true,
Neither are true.
but it's two extremes,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It is.
And I really I don't like how divided we are as a nation. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of sad, right? But when you say it's all about narratives, they just push narratives. That's it,
Yeah.
right? You either believe in this narrative or that narrative, right? There's no context, there's no critical thinking. It's all just groupthink, right? Either you're with us or you're against us.
Or you're against us. Correct. Absolutely.
It's not, hey, we
Well,
share different opinions, but this is a free country.
yeah, and let's talk about it. Let's just talk
Yeah.
about it. Like to me, I'm like, I love when people. I have these long debates with a buddy of mine. He was vehemently against Trump. I voted for Trump, and I don't have a problem saying it, but I just felt like he was the better candidate. I wasn't like a lifelong, it's all, oh, you're a lifelong, you're a Republican, you're a conservative, this and that, or you're super. I mean, it's not about that. It's really like, okay, whoever you voted for, let's talk about, well, why. And at the end of the day, even if whoever you voted for, what's important to you? Even if we disagree, why do we disagree if we have a disagreement? You know what I'm saying? But it's like people try to put everybody in a box. So it's like, oh, if you're Keon the Democrat, well, oh, you believe in this and this and this and this and that. Or if you're Keon the Republican, you believe this and this and that, and you love the rich and you hate the poor. All these crazy narratives. It's like people not even having conversations anymore. It's like
Yeah, and I
you
think one thing everyone can
automatically
agree
put
on
you
is there needs to be an elimination of extreme poverty and extreme wealth. I mean, that's it, right? So,
100%.
but I think it just, yeah, tax the rich, free
Yes.
everything, right? I mean,
Right.
come on, man. Remember freeipod.com? It's like just fill out the survey and you get a free iPod. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I wish I did. 'Cause
And if
I
you
never
filled
had
out enough surveys, and the way it worked was you signed up for like 10 trials and you canceled, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we only continue to get more divided. And I think, like I said earlier, no civilization is conquered from the outside until it destroys itself from within. And we've gotten a lot of help between the fentanyl and the mental health crisis that COVID gave us, right? China didn't need to drop a bomb on us. They just got to give us COVID, supply us with fentanyl and TikTok, and we'll kill
and
ourselves.
we'll
We
kill
are.
ourselves. That's a fact.
We
That's
are.
a fact.
War is not
And
fought with missiles and planes anymore. It's just not.
you're
It's fought
absolutely
with
right. And a
disinformation,
whole
propaganda, fentanyl, right? And I'm not even against or for, right? It's just marijuana, right? I think people should smoke it if they need to calm down. Good for them. But people are rolling up in the middle of the day. You
yeah,
can buy it on every corner. How do I feel about that?
literally.
I think it'll make us lazier as a society. Sure. I don't think we need that right now.
No, listen, I agree. I think that it's about being productive, and I think that's the thing that I'm most worried about.
Sure.
Um, that's the thing that I'm most worried about. The fact that people argue about manufacturing and whether it'll ever come back, but at the end of the day, like if people aren't producing anything, everybody can't be home or work 20 hours a week or, you know, have their feet kicked up and, and think that we're going to move forward as a society. That's just
Yet
not
at
going
the
to work.
same time, there are 100 people behind you and me and the first year investment banker at Goldman Sachs, maybe 100,000 people that would do his job for less
100%.
and work just as
100%.
hard.
Yep.
It's true.
What you get in the marketplace is the value that you command at the end of the day, and that's why I
Sure.
said we have to repurpose people to have skill, because at the end of the day AI is here, it's been here. And look, at the end of the day, if you make $30 working at flipping a burger, no disrespect, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's just going to make the Whopper or the Big Mac more expensive, and
That's it. That's
it's
all it's
just
going
going
to
to
do. It's not
inflate
going
the
to. We're not
cost
going
of
to raise
everything.
minimum wage to $30 and then expect the cost of goods to be the same.
Exactly, it
It's
just
not.
doesn't
Maybe
work that
maybe
way.
maybe they don't eat the whole cost, but they're going to pass off at least half of it.
100%.
Right.
a
And I
hundred
think,
percent.
you go back to, you talk about narratives. One thing that interested me more than anything over the last year, right, is the Drake Kendrick narrative.
Oh man. All right, let's get into that, because
Yeah. I don't want to
tell
take
me
up, I
what.
got like 10 more minutes,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I know you got
because
to.
that was about narratives. And I think we saw, right. So from a pure hip hop perspective, technicality wise, whatever, right? How much does the truth factor in here, right? Has Drake been proven to be a pedophile? There was a whole verse about how he's hiding a daughter, which he doesn't have, but everyone heard the song and went, oh, and that was it, right? A lie makes its way halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to put its pants on, right? So, as a fan of hip hop, if you ask me, is GNX was like Kendrick's worst album. I don't know if you listened to it. It's just, it was
Listen,
disappointing. Go ahead.
listen. I no, no. I don't mean to cut you off, but I talked about this during the Super Bowl, and people try to kill me in the comments. I
It
was
wasn't a
like,
great performance, whether you
I
love him or not. I love him. I could rap all of Good
I
Kid,
didn't
Mad
think it
City
was a
front
good
to back.
performance, and I'll tell you this: I don't believe that people were Kendrick fans. I was telling my wife this. I was like, people are acting like they're Kendrick fans. Y'all are not
No,
Kendrick fans.
no.
All these people. Oh, I'm gonna go see Kendrick in concert. I'm gonna buy the album. I said, in about a year, all these people who are like claiming that, oh, they're a big Kendrick fan. They don't. First of all, you don't understand half the things he's saying. You weren't a fan before this. It's just anti Drake, at the end of the day. And
Sure, and
what it is.
Drake didn't follow his own rules, right? Like he says on So Far So Gone, I want it all, that's why I strive for it. Diss me, you'll never hear a reply for it, right? At some point, he shifted and was responding to people, and he even said on, I think, was it 5 p.m. at Calabasas, um, I always got to, I got a lot to lose in every situation because I'm the bigger artist. I always got to play it
Right,
smarter, right? So
right.
he is, you're right. So he kind of got baited into it. And I just think that when you even look at the beef, like if you take a step back, right, you're like, okay, if you ask me my favorite song, it's like Family Matters was the best song, right? And then Kendrick
Yeah,
just said A minor and that was it. But now that I take a
right.
step back, I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. And I think,
Well, it
when
was
Nas dropped,
underdog status too, though. I think that Drake has been
sure,
winning
but
for
I've
so
never seen
long.
so many Kendrick fans in my life.
Me either. I was
And
saying, I'm like,
everyone was like, "Oh my god!" When Grand National came out, GNX, I was so disappointed because he was making all these 2 minute 30 songs. It's like I'm used to Good Kid, Mad City, right, where the beat switches
Yeah.
and what, right? It's just I don't know, right? And even when you look at just where music is, right?
Hmm.
It's not. Let me create a great song, right? We're talking. Go back to. Let me create a great 15-minute sound bite, 15-second sound bite. Pardon me,
Right.
to put on TikTok.
Right. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
really it.
Forget about everything else. I'm just gonna make
That's
15
really it.
seconds, right? There's no guitar solos, right? And even when you look at the most popular songs now, they're racing to get to the chorus, right? So it used
Of
to
course.
be intro, verse, bridge. Now they play the chorus first. Like Espresso plays the verse to the chorus to start the song,
Yeah.
right? Because you need to
Absolutely. Yeah.
grab people's attention right away.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
has destroyed our brains, and it's actually destroyed the quality of even if you. I don't want to art. Let's call it art. It's destroyed the quality of
Yeah.
art, right?
Yeah. I agree. I
I
agree.
said to my intern, "Oh, you got to see Goodfellas," and he looks it up on his phone. He goes, "Oh man, 2.5 hours."
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, I wish it was three. It's one of the best films or whatever. They can't
How old
sit
is
through
the
a
intern?
movie. Pardon?
How old is he?
20?
Oh man. Yeah.
You know?
Goodfellas is like
Yeah, but my point is that it just,
that's
Kendrick won the PR battle.
right. He did. That was
Now,
really what it was.
if you go and look at who the top streaming hip hop artist of 2024 was, it was still Drake.
I was telling people that, and I'm like, you
So
guys
people are
just
still
like
listening to him.
you just like to dislike Drake right now, and it's cool. Here's the thing. I was never a huge Kendrick fan, but I like that he had his moment. I just don't like that he had his moment based on
Drake, yeah,
people
that's the
people
worst
not
part.
liking
Everyone will
Drake.
always tie his success to Drake,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's like, did Drake win? I mean, it didn't hurt his superstar status. People still listen to him. Nobody stopped listening to Drake, right?
Right.
Nobody. I mean, very small percentage stopped listening to Drake, right? And they asked Magic Johnson one time, "How do you define a superstar?" And he said, "Okay, if the Knicks are like, 0 for 81, it's the last game of the season, but Kobe's playing, MSG will be sold out. That's a superstar, right?